Hello, welcome back to the Going Zero Waste YouTube channel. I'm Kathryn Kellogg and feel like I'm on nighttime radio right now. Hello, welcome. So happy to have you here. We're talking about recycling and why it's broken. This is part 2, and I believe there's going to be a part 1, 2, and 3, but if I really get going, we might even have a part 4. Sometimes my accent actually does come out, so I tend to overcorrect for my accent. I'm from Arkansas. I have a southern accent. I majored in musical theater, did professional acting, and so my accent's pretty much gone because I talk in a very flat American accent, but you will definitely hear my southern accent come out sometimes when I'm tired, tipsy, or get really, really excited. So, we're talking about recycling and why it's broken and currently in turmoil, and there's devastation all around us. If you would like to see part 1 of that video, I will link it here, or below. I never know which side the link is going to be, so it'll be somewhere and you can find it and watch part 1. So in part 1 we talked about our recycling not being accepted anymore, what's currently happening with our recycling, and we talked a bit about the problem about plastic, which we are going to talk about later and I'll get more into it. But right now we're going to talk about contamination and why this is such a problem. So in our last video, we talked about China no longer accepting recycling bales of paper and plastic with a contamination rate over 1%. So what is a contamination rate? Like, what makes something contaminated? That's putting the incorrect item in the incorrect bin, or just putting the correct item in the correct bin in the wrong way. For instance, shredded paper. It's paper, right? You think like, oh, I can recycle paper. Wrong. You can't recycle shredded paper just in your regular curbside bin. Now, your waste management facility that operates and takes care of your garbage and your waste might have different rules. So it's always really, 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 really important to go to your waste management's website to look and to see what they actually accept. For instance, in San Francisco, Recology has a special program for shredded paper. They take it, if it is bagged in a plastic bag, separately from your recycling and set not in the curbside bin. So they want it separate, because if you just put shredded paper, dump it into your bin, it can actually clog the machines. So this is going to cause contamination, which means the machines aren't going to be running. They're going to be down for a period of time. The company is going to be losing money because what did we talk about last time? Recycling is a business. These are markets. Companies are buying these recycled items to put into their products. So it's also important that we're actually buying products made with recycled materials. Because if we're not actually buying and supporting companies that are using recycled materials, are we even recycling? I don't know. It's a philosophical question that we will all have to think about. So it's just really, really important that we also are just very, very conscientious of what we put into our bins. I did an episode. We're gonna start calling these episodes. I like the sound of that. I did an episode on pizza boxes and how to properly recycle your pizza box, because that one is one of the main things that ends up contaminating a whole bunch of paper, because paper has to be clean and dry. So if you have bottles or cans or anything like that, make sure that you tap out any excess liquids. If you have food like a yogurt container or anything like that, put in a little bit of water, put the lid on, shake it up, try and get that residual food particles out of your bottle, and then put it into tap it all dry. It doesn't have to be completely bone dry, but tap out any excess moisture and then put it in your recycling bin. And I think this is one of the main problems, is that in the United States, we have single stream recycling in most locations, which means we've got one bin, and then we put everything in that one bin, which means it gets pretty contaminated. So like some of the best facilities in the United States, Recology, whom I love, I would argue to be one of the top facilities in the United States, they have a contamination rate of 4%. And that's awesome, but it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. And some other recycling facilities that operate, in other parts of America have on average a 25 to 35% contamination rate. There are some waste management companies that have single stream recycling and garbage. They put it all in one bin and then they separate it. I don't know how their stuff isn't just so dirty and so contaminated. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. So I want to talk about some of the materials Yeah, I think I'm gonna do materials. I'm gonna do materials in the third video. So I think I'm just gonna do recycling is broken, and I'm just gonna do it for the whole week. So I'm just gonna do videos consecutively instead of doing after the week. So tomorrow, tune in for recycling is broken, part 3. Like, subscribe. Yeah.